Hey everybody, I'll be doing my historical film analysis on the movie Grease. Here are the table of contents to help you guys follow along with the presentation. Randall Kleiser is responsible for directing the hit movie Grease. He's also directed popular feature films such as The Blue Lagoon and the Emmy-winning feature The Gathering. As of right now, he is still currently active and working in this field. Albert Wolsky was behind the creative costumes debuted in the movie Grease. He also designed costumes for All That Jazz and Bugsy. Wolsky was also nominated for Best Costume Design for these feature films and ended up winning the nominations. As a fun fact, Wolsky is also partially colorblind. Here's a trailer of the movie, although I have it linked in the discussion board post so you guys can find it easier. Grease can be first and foremost described as a musical. However, there are other elements embedded into the film such as romance and comedy. There were also some theatric elements scattered throughout the film as well. Grease contained numerous songs as well as some dance numbers throughout the film. The music would heighten the tone and the mood throughout the various scenes. The songs would help further convey the actors' true feelings and would help make the audience want to engage with these characters even more. The music was one of the main things that really contributed to this movie being such a success. For a short summary of the film, Sandy Olson, played by Olivia Newton-John, and Danny Zuko, John Travolta, fell in love over the summer. They both parted ways due to Sandy thinking she had to move back to Australia. However, her plans changed, and unbeknownst to her, she is enrolled at the same high school as Danny. Unfortunately, Danny has a greaser reputation to uphold and does not appear to be the same Danny that she fell in love with over the summer. Sandy is a good girl and not the type for a leader of a greaser gang, the T-Birds, to be seen with. Sandy goes through a metamorphosis over the course of the school year by making friends with the Pink Ladies and Frenchie. She ends up eventually finding herself. Graduation comes and she shows off her newfound self and then rekindles her love with Danny. The setting of this movie takes place in Rydell High. According to MovieLocations.com, it actually took 3 different schools to film in to create the Rydell High one sees throughout the whole movie. These schools include Venice High School, Huntington Park High School, John Marshall High School. All film locations were based out of Los Angeles, California. One central message is how important true friendships are. Not everyone has your best interests as seen on multiple occasions, usually the Pink Ladies being the ones involved. Another is being your authentic self. Danny would put on more of a show due to other members being around, but would show off a different side to Sandy. Finally, a central message seen in the movie was that of peer pressure. Many of the characters, such as Sandy, were feeling pressured at times to do things she didn't care for, just to fit in and change up her image. The overall main conflict of the film is between Sandy and Danny and their struggle to keep their romance alive due to their stark differences. This conflict is resolved at the end of the film when Sandy shows off her newfound greaser look and rekindles her romance with Danny. The strengths of the film were the on-screen connections between the actors, especially Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. Another strength was the energetic, lively, and catchy songs which made the musical such a hit. However, a weakness could be that they did not keep a lot of the songs from the original musical, which premiered on Broadway, which did bother some viewers. They also casted actors that were in their late 20s to play the role of teenagers. Olivia Newton-John herself was 28 years old when she filmed Grease. For the main character of Danny, the costume designer Wolsky made Danny's outfit the epitome of a greaser. He had on dark clothes, slicked back hair, and of course a leather jacket. All of these elements combined made Danny stand out from the rest. For Sandy, Wolsky designed more demure outfits with lighter fabrics and more pastel colors. These outfits added to her good girl image that they were trying to convey. It also helped her stand out and catch the eye, as other females did not quite dress the same. Rizzo, the leader of the Pink Ladies greaser gang, Wolski gave her a bit more of a greaser outfit as well, however in a more feminine fashion compared to Dani. Rizzo would sport darker colors such as black and would be seen with her eye-catching infamous pink jacket with "Pink Ladies" written on the back. Wolski's costume designs did help make the film's actors more believable. Costumes are crucial in portraying a character or actor's role. The costume designs were accurate, although perhaps done up a bit extra due to it being a movie. However, Wolski nailed down the basics of the greaser look, which was imperative for the success of the film. He also did well portraying everyday 1950s apparel of teen women on Sandy. For Sandy's hair and makeup, her makeup was very minimal until the end of the movie where she showcases her newfound look. Her makeup was very prominent and her hair styled in shorter voluminous waves around her face. When it came to eyeshadow, popular colors were dusty purple, violet, ice blue, silver, light, dark green, teal, and gold, according to the vintage dancer for this time period. Sandy appears to have more of a darker gray and sporting a more eyeline type of look that was possibly more popular more in the 1960s rather than the 1950s. Her hair seemed to model more of a longer version of the poodle cut, which was very popular during this time. My favorite costume is Sandy's last outfit near the end of the movie in her very own greaser costume. I like how the costume itself represented a form of metamorphosis she had gone through throughout the entire film. The costume was designed to say and represent that newfound change. For Dani's hair, as he did not exactly wear makeup, was styled in true greaser fashion. It was sleeked back and shiny while styled in what looks to be a men's pompadour hairstyle, one very common and thus accurate during this time period. My favorite costume Dani wears is his typical Greaser Gang leader apparel. I like it personally because of the iconic nature of the look. It has a leather jacket that says T-Birds on the back. He's wearing a light undershirt paired with dark pants. Without having a proper greaser look, the costume would not say much about who he is. The costume helps identify who this character is supposed to be. For Rizzo's hair and makeup, her makeup throughout the entirety of the film emulated a lot of how women wore their makeup throughout the 1950s. Her eyes were lined, and she had on blue-gray eyeshadow, her brows were filled in, and they were well arched. She had a light blushy pink rouge on her cheeks as well, something very common. Rizzo's hair was tightly curled and cut rather short. Her hairstyle was very accurate for this time period. It resembled, more accurately, the poodle cut. My favorite costume of Rizzo's is when she is dressed in head-to-toe black, wearing black sunglasses while sporting her Pink Ladies Gang jacket. I like the costume as it helps set the tone for who this character was going to be and what kind of part she would play. I also like to see how he would take on more of a greaser girl rather than a guy. I think her costume does say or portray that she is part of this greaser culture. I do believe the film appealed to the viewer's reason and emotion. The whole story deals with circumstances and situations that are very relatable. High school is all about trying to find yourself and trying to dodge peer pressure at the same time. Most people can relate to the relationship struggles as well. It made me personally feel as though I could relate with the characters and their emotions. The lessons to be learned from this film correlate with the central messages this film portrayed, which include the importance of having true friendships, as not everyone is always going to be your friend, be one's authentic self all the time and not just some of the time, and finally the lesson of peer pressure and just the negative effects that it can bring. For interesting facts about the movie, most of the movie Grease's songs didn't actually come from the original Broadway version, which I did mention that some people were a little upset about. The song Grease Lightning was originally supposed to be sung by Kenickie and not Dani, played by Travolta. He actually convinced the producers to let him sing the song instead of Kenickie. Sandy actually had to be sewn into her tight leather pants as her zipper broke while on set filming. Elvis Presley was actually offered a role in the movie of the Teen Angel. This movie relates to what we've studied in class by portraying what fashion and culture was like during this time period. Grease showed us everything from everyday wear to the greaser wear and the kind of lifestyle it brought with it. It showed us the trends in hair and makeup and just overall what the culture was really like in the 1950s. And here are the references.